Oh, hi. Can you hear me? Perfect. Hello and welcome, folks. This is Porsche Cup Challenge Euro Global Division. We're here at the Nürburgring, and today, joined with me in the broadcast booth, is the Amateur Division of the Americas champion from this season, Aaron Hall.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for joining. You're going to be your first time here in the broadcast booth, so let's see how that goes, right? Anyways, actually, while we're here, what do you think of the Nürburgring? What are your first initial thoughts when you think of this track?
Well, I mean, it's one of the iconic tracks in the racing community. It's a beast for sure. This was really my first season kind of tackling it and really trying to learn the track, and it's just a lot to take in, and it just takes so much practice to get comfortable with it and be able to put in good times.
Definitely. It's not an easy track. It's, there's Stefan Heineken, maybe not even having a time. Yeah, some would say it's almost not even a track. It's more like a backcountry road. I wonder how this, I don't know the history of how this track was created, but I feel like it was a road one day and they said, let's close it off and make it a track. Hey, look, it goes in a loop. And then they said, here, look, the Nürburgring. But honestly,
it feels like.
Definitely one of the best benchmarks of all motorsports is this track with 8 minutes to 8-minute lap in this car, 7 minutes 47 for some, of course. For Jürgen Frank up at the front, Gordon Ramsay currently in P2 in the qualifying. Wow, so that's going to be interesting. I'm noticing a whole bunch of people maybe snagging a 1X in quali, and there's a 1X for Yuri, so his second lap is now out of the window.
Yeah, it's so easy to do. There's so many corners and just so many opportunities to make just a simple mistake here. It can be really challenging to get a good lap in.
Absolutely. It looks like almost half of our field they're really trying to push it, and they just maybe not able to get a time in at all. They, of course, in our session here have 2 laps And with it being such a long lap, you can't make any mistakes. So you have to be on point. And that's actually, I think, what some people love about this track. Wouldn't you say, Aaron?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if you're able to tackle this track and set good times and stuff, I mean, it really sets you apart as a driver. And it just really shows the skill that you can have if you're able to, run a perfect lap here.
Yeah, I've actually talked to some people who say they never really learn a car until they drive it on the Nürburgring. And once they drive it on this track, they're like, oh, wow, now I finally understand it. It's a test of really your understanding of car control, the way that you have to go full blast, full beans through a lot of these corners, the balance of the car, the front balance, the rear balance. It's basically really a roller coaster ride. So.
Yeah, this track, has a little bit of everything. It's got high-speed corners, low-speed corners, hard braking zones, light braking zones. It's just everything. So yeah, you got to be good at everything to be good at this track.
Yeah, and it's definitely where you're a track that you're going to see some people who are just absolute Nürburgring runners. The people who are normally fielding themselves at the back of the pack and show up for this race, and they qualify right in that top 3 or top 5, and it's definitely one of those specialty tracks. It's definitely interesting how that works.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was I gonna say is, Aaron, when we were in this race on Thursday, how did your race go? Where did you finish again?
I think I was P11 in the feature. Had a rough sprint race. Definitely made some mistakes that ended up costing me a lot of time. But yeah, the feature I think was P11, and just trying to be consistent, not make any big mistakes.
Yeah, definitely. So I was going to ask now. That was leading into where are your top 3 points of this race for this evening for all of these drivers on the grid.
I think like we saw in the Americas division, turn 1, that is just a major choke point, especially at the start. So just being really careful through there, taking it easy, and then just getting kind of settled in through the GP section. I always found myself struggling with the last sector. It's just a really fast sector, and it's so important to get a really good run onto that back straight, because that's where a lot of the passing is going to happen. And then on that back straight too, just timing an overtake. If you make the overtake too soon on that straight, the guy can come right back behind you and get you into those last few turns. So just kind of playing the game there and timing it just right to make the overtake stick.
Yeah, definitely. When I was driving this car on this track, got the sense that it's almost not worth it to follow really, really close. It's like half a second back, and when you're about to get up to those corners leading onto the straight, you close that gap just on a little bit under the braking zone. You head onto that long back straight where you can have a cup of tea, a biscuit, and maybe have a little nap. And then, and then you know what? You can make the pass then. You don't really have to push your luck too much in the in that tight back roads roller coaster section. You can just wait for just the right time and make your passes then.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we've seen, following on this track is super difficult because it's so challenging to see your braking markers and stuff when you're right behind somebody. So yeah, sometimes it's worth just hanging back a little bit and then just sticking with them and just get them on the back straight.
And it looks like, is there anyone still out there? No, it looks like there's Emil Koopman's car. He's not moving. Confirmed not qualifying. Stefan Heineken, confirmed not qualifying. Misha Berger is still trying to sell. Oh no, he has a lap. 7 minutes 54. In the Americas division, I think this lap right here from Misha would have been good for like a top 5, but that's just showing the absolute strength that we have here in the Euro Global division.
Looks like Philip Hammer just put in a insane lap.
Absolutely insane. And here is our here's our qualifying results right here. Philip Hammer on pole position. Congratulations, Philip Hammer, for beating out Jürgen Frank and Marvin Strale, who didn't even set a time. This is going to get real spicy. Jürgen Frank in second, of course, on that front row. We got Frank Smits in third, Aiden Young coming in at fourth in the global division. Wow, great lap from Aiden Young. Gordon Ramsay in fifth, Ryan Winfeld sixth, Thorsten Seifert In 7th, Bjorn Ritter, Django Vol, I hope I'm saying that one right. He hasn't corrected me quite yet. Alexander Wilford, Philip Straffarelli, Gregory Franks, welcome back. You missed last week. Glad to see you here again. We got Corey Lazarus, Misha Berger, and then the rest just didn't even set a time. So it's a little bit of luck on where they placed. So on
Looks
that
like
group,
a few people out of position there, some fast guys that weren't able to set a lap, so this will be an interesting start to the race.
Definitely. There's going to be Marvin Strail, Igor Koz, Florian Kappel, Yuri Steinmetz, Stefan Heineken, Emil Koopmans, Benjamin Pape did not set a time, and I don't think he will be racing, from my understanding. Michael Hesse, Christian Hegewald. You're the specialty on the German.
I think you got it.
Mark De Bruin, Alexander Redhead.
Good luck, guys.
Okay, and now we're just waiting for everyone to come into their cars, come onto the grid. Got about 15 seconds left, or else you're going to be left behind. Of course, you don't want that. There is all of those cars, all of those Porsches in all of their glory on that start-finish line, waiting for the lights to come up in the very middle of their screen. I guess some people are just choosing not to grid at all and going to test their luck starting from the pits. The lights are up in the middle of the screen, and we're about to get underway as you see the lights turning on. And the lights are off, and away we go. And it looks like Philip Hammer not getting the start that he was looking for, and that's put Jürgen Frank in the lead. A little bit further back, we're going to have a whole bunch of 2 wide, 3 wide going into turn 1. Looks like Aiden Young's being challenged a little bit further back. You can see everyone's getting through nice and cleanly. And that means Jürgen Frank is now ahead of Philip Hammer, who set that amazing pole lap. So Philip Hammer, not such a great start, and has already lost one of his positions. So we're going to real quickly pull up that timing tower, see how much moving and shaking has happened. Looks like Django Vol, Gregory Vanks is bleeding positions. Corey Lazarus, this is really intense. A lot of tough battling, people trying to get up ahead as soon as they can before they get onto the Nürburgring, where you really do want to start following single file. Marvin Straub, Florian Kappel, Alexander Wilford. Here we go into the chicane. And
this is a really challenging section at the start of the lap through this GP section with cold tires, and you're trying to get the car in a good spot before you get onto the ring. So this is definitely a challenge through here.
And right now you can see everyone is pretty much in contact with each. Oh, and there goes Emil Koopmans is around. That may have been a little bit of contact to cause that. We're not sure. We may be able to look back on that and see later. However, he is around, and Gordon Ramsay I'm seeing is bleeding positions. I'm not sure what happened. He may have caught a wall, and that's just how tight the field is. Just one little mistake and you're gonna lose a lot of spots. That amazing quality lap that Gordon had, and now down out of that top 8, which is the reverse grid, the sweet spot, wouldn't you say, Aaron?
Yep, yeah, if you can be in that P8, that's a good place to be.
Here's Gordon Ramsay being challenged up the hill. What? Oh no, that is unfortunate. Oh, and I think that was Corey Lazarus, and Gordon Ramsay, just a little misfortune on his end, hitting the wall, losing control, and accidentally really taking out Corey Lazarus. And you know what? Luckily, we have 2 races, and this is the short one.
Still all to play for sure. But, yeah, it's unfortunate. That's one thing with racing at the ring. There's just not a lot of room. If somebody goes off, it can cause a lot of chaos.
Absolutely. Oh, and there goes Frank Smits. And that's a corner I've crashed at a lot. I think that's my favorite corner to crash. And there goes Frank Smits. So we've lost another brave soul who's been trying to make it work on the Nürburgring, and just not quite.
Yeah, just a little touch of grass there set him off, and looks like he's got some decent damage. I don't know if we'll be able to make it back on track.
Let's take a quick look at the replay. How did Emil Koopmans crash and spin around? Here is Emil Koopmans, and he is heading on to the Nürburgring. And in the braking zone, it looks like he's got Redhead directly behind him. Oh, and he just got a little bit too excited on the throttle, and that is exactly what sent him round. And then this is Gordon Ramsay's first crash, and so that explains exactly how he started bleeding positions. He may have had some steering damage. He was just trying to make it work, and there you go. And that is exactly how it led into all of the events that happened later. So we're going to just jump right up to the lead of this race. You got Jürgen Frank in P1 still. Philip Hammers 3/10 behind. We're now coming up to one of the main passing zones. If you really want to brave it out, rumor has it that it's actually not the greatest place to pass, but some drivers do it anyways. Here we go, too wide up the hill. Ryan Winfield making a move. Marvin Strehel is really starting to try and push his luck and make up some of those spots that he couldn't get in qualifying. There he goes. A little bit of front end damage. Not sure where that one came from, but that may harm him down the long run, but of course his pace can definitely make up for that. Florian Kappel in tow. Sorry?
I was going to say that was a bold move by Winfield there, but he's one of these guys that has a ton of experience here, and just, when it comes to overtaking and stuff, that experience really matters here. You have the confidence to make a move stick.
Absolutely. And you can see these two are just absolutely like bumper to bumper, almost pushing each other up the hill as they head towards this braking zone. And let me pull up a track map to see what is the name of, I don't even know where they are on this track right now. They are somewhere. No, okay, I see. Posten 147. They are not, is that what they're coming up to? Somewhere around there.
They're going, through the first carousel right now. It's like, Kappel's able to get through.
And now we've got Thorsten Seifert battling it out with Marvin Strehel. So, of course, that front end damage. No, and there goes Marvin Strehel. And that may really hurt his car. Let's see how he's ended up. And he's going to have to tow. He's going to have to take that smart route, take the tow, and try his chances next race in the 30-minute feature. So we're going to just head through this field. Here's Alexander Wilford being challenged by none other than Igor Koz. Am I saying that correctly? You got the German background, Koz?
I believe so. That's right.
I love your vote of confidence. So this here is Django Val is in the lead of this 3-car pack with Alexander Wilford and Igor Koz in tow. Gregory Vranks has actually now joined this and made a 4-car tango. And there goes Igor Koz. And Alexander Wilford is off into the grass and into the barrier. And that's going to bleed some positions. His car looks okay. Wow, well, lucky boy. No, no damage. Okay. So, but he's now got Misha Berger coming up behind him. Is Misha Berger going to try and make the move? And he does. There he goes. And Alexander Wilford, his confidence has been shaken, and he's now just going to let the cars by.
Yeah, he might have some steering damage or something that he's having to nurse now.
Here is Emil Koopmans following Christian Hegwald. And is Emil Koopmans going to go for the move on Christian? It looks like Christian has some damage on the front of his car. Emil Koopmans testing his luck, seeing if he can poke a nose. But of course, he's coming up onto that very, very long straight. Is he going to push his luck before that straight? No, he's going to tuck in behind. That's definitely the smart decision. Wait it out because, a little bit of a contact. And Emil just thinking about the other car in front of him and taking himself out rather than the other driver. And that there is sportsmanship above all else right there from Emil Koopmans.
Yeah, it looks like he had a little better run coming out of the carousel and just had to check up a little bit.
As we head down that very, very long straight, looks like Igor Koz has made the pass on Django Val, and with Gregory Vranks in tow. So now this is a 3-car battle. A little bit further up the road, this is Thorsten Seifert with Ryan Winfield. Ryan Winfield, I think he lost a position in that moment. And away they go onto that very first lap, finished right there. We've got 3 laps in this sprint, and it'll be a 4-lap feature with reverse grid top 8. I have notification here for Alexander Redhead has crashed. Let's take a look at how did Alexander Redhead crash. I know he's been complaining about this track, saying he didn't like it very much. So let's find out Let's find out why. A little bit of a parking lot there, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So let's take a look. I also see Mark DeBruin has taken a little bit of time off in the barrier. So let's see how did that one happen. A little bit of grass and maybe a little bit of curb. Oh, and there he goes. Luckily, he didn't damage his car too much, and he was able to carry on.
That was a good save.
Good save. We're seeing a lot of good saves here, aren't we, eh?
Yep. It's definitely something to practice because you know it's going to happen at some point. So.
Absolutely. Here is Florian Kappel making a pass on Bjorn Ritter into... Actually, I want to just take a look at that replay. How did that one happen? That was a beautiful pass as they entered into the Nürburgring off of the GP track. And here it goes. It looks like Bjorn Ritter leaving that door wide open on the inside. And Florian Kappel, he is not one to wait. He will walk through.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he wasn't expecting that move or was just knew he was going to get by eventually anyway. And
definitely the line is to go wide, but you know, of course, this is racing, and if you open up a gap, someone will fill it, just as we saw right there.
Absolutely.
I see Yuri Steinmetz has crashed. I know in the past, historically, Yuri Steinmetz has not had good luck at this track. It's, as we were talking earlier, this track, it's one of those you either love it or you hate it, you're good at it or you're terrible at it. And Yuri Steinmetz, I know, it has not had a lot of good luck in there. Oh, a little bit of crash, and I think he's just decided to tow and wait it out for the next race. That's how it goes. We've got, I think, about 7-8 cars, and so the Nürburgring has claimed many drivers so far, but lucky for Jürgen Frank, car 175, he's right up in the front. He is now 1.8 seconds ahead of the Hammer. Just really, he's now the one throwing down the Hammer in front of Philip, car number 60, and in P3, 5 seconds back is Aiden Young, the winner of our races on Thursday in the Americas division. Is now placing himself very, very well around a very tough field, I gotta say. Great performance, great drive from Aiden Young. And for those who don't know it, Aiden's driving on a Logitech G29. So if you think you need equipment and all that high-end gear, you absolutely do not. Look at this, P3 and Logitech G29. How does that make you feel, Aaron?
Yeah, I might go for a downgrade.
Yeah, exactly. Sell all your stuff. Forget it. You really don't need it. And if Aiden's dad is watching this broadcast, hello, Aiden's dad. Thank you for supporting your son in and all the wonderful things that he does right here. And we're glad to have him, definitely. Joining in here now with Ryan Winfeld battling it out against Thorsten Seifert. And you can, of course, see on the track map exactly where everyone is on the track. So the P1 and all the way back to P15, that's quite a distance. And luckily for those guys in the back, we only have 3 laps. Oh, Ryan Winfeld getting a little bit wild heading onto this straightaway, really trying to push that car and chase down Thorsten Seifert. And if he's not careful, Igor Koz directly behind is going to make up all that time, and it's going to become a 3 to 4 car duo. Duo times 2, of course. Wait.
Yeah, I was going to say Django Valve right there too. So yeah, these guys got to get a move on, or they're going to have some no cars to deal with.
If you were in Ryan's shoes right here, would you be thinking make the pass, or are you going to just play nice in hopes that the guys behind don't catch? What are you thinking?
This is a risky place to make a pass, but it looks like Ryan might be going for it.
He is absolutely going for it. Looks like Thorsten's conceding the position in hopes that he can just follow along in tow of car number 53. But of course, Igor and Django have now caught up. So this is going to get real exciting real quick, I'm sure, as they head in towards that very first carousel. And you can see Bjorn Ritter not too far up the road. So if they all play their cards right, this could become 4 or 5, maybe 6 cars if they're really lucky.
Yeah, I'm sure Ryan felt like he had some more pace through there and was just not wanting to get stuck for too long behind Seifert. And then I think Seifert did the right thing there, backing out of that, because that's could definitely be a race-ending situation there.
Where would you say where would you say is your favorite, other than that long back straight, or where the very last straight, other than that straight there, where would you say is your favorite place to pass?
I don't know if I had too many good opportunities to pass, but turn one can be good if you get a good run. If you just fall real close through that last section, those last few corners. But yeah, I think Ryan making that move there, that's a bold move for sure.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'd be brave enough to do that.
And I think it was the right move, because look, he's now got a 1.4 second gap to Thorsten Seifert, so he knew something that we didn't, and there it is. It's the pace that he had. He knew he could build that gap heading into this section. He's been learning against his opponents here, clearly, and so now Igor Koz is thinking about how can he get through, and Django Vol is just in for the ride as well.
Yeah, I think if you're in Vol's situation, you're just kind of hanging back and waiting to see what happens. If these guys get into it or make a mistake, you're there to take advantage.
Absolutely. I think if I was in Django's position, I would just be here for the tow. Although he is in P9, he needs one more spot to get involved in that reverse grid top 8, which is definitely the sweet spot. So at some point in the next lap and a half, he's going to have to get really aggressive, or else he's going to be losing out on a really good position in that feature race. So now they go heading around. This is Galgenkopf, Dottinger. Obviously my German is not the best. I wish I could read this. Can you read this?
Oh, I don't have the map up in front of me, but
yeah,
it's I need to go through and learn all the names at some point. I think Ryan Winfeld's one of them that has all the names memorized and can recite them on command. And if you run this track enough, I think you learn them all pretty well.
Okay, I'm just turning up the volume for you just a little bit. It says my co-commentator is hard to hear. So you're going to have to speak a little louder over here. And Thorsten Seifert is now being challenged by Igor Koz as they head along that start-finish straight. Is Igor Koz going to go for the inside under braking? Here he goes. Thorsten Seifert, is he going to have an answer back, or is he going to let him go? There goes Igor Koz, and Thorsten Seifert under fire now from Django Vol. It looks like Django is looking to get that spot as well, not quite able to make it happen. And so Thorsten Seifert is still in that reverse grid top 8, which is that sweet spot. He has one lap to go before he potentially could lose it or hold on to it. So we're going to have to find out how this story plays out. A little bit further back, here's Alexander Wilfert being followed by Mark De Bruin and Christian Hegevald heading on to their final lap right about now. Looking at that timing tower as we're following along with this race here right in front of us, Igor Koz has already put in a 1.2 second gap to Thorsten Seifert. So Thorsten Seifert's pace maybe not quite exactly where he had hoped against all these other drivers. But luckily still is in that reverse grid top 8. So I'm going to just jump up into P1, Jürgen Frank. He's now just started his run around the Nürburgring for the very last time. Lap 3, here we go. This is Flagplatz, I believe it's called, right there. Oh, and you get a little bit of air, and it's just a quick right. You hold it in 6th gear, and you're just basically pinning that throttle as you go all the way around to Schweden Cruise. Again, my German's amazing, isn't it? And he's now built a 4-second gap to Philip the Hammer. Philip the Hammer just a little further back. Right now, I believe he cannot be beat for P1 in our season championship. So congratulations, Philip Hammer, for snagging yet another win in our seasons here at Porsche Cup Challenge. We still are looking for a driver who will complete the entire season and really give the Hammer a run for his money. Hopefully one of these drivers will stick around for every single race and really test the Hammer out. We'll have to see if that'll actually happen or not. One driver I know who would love to do that is Aiden Young right here, and potentially Florian Kappel if he can stick around and make it work. Florian Kappel, one very, very fast driver. He started quite far back in this sprint race, as you can see, up 13 spots in the P4. That is blazing fast pace, I gotta say.
Yeah, that's a great race from him. And he's clean and consistent. That's what it takes here.
Absolutely. A little further back, Bjorn Ritter, who we've seen have extremely strong pace at the Nürburgring in the past. One of those drivers who will absolutely show up and really take you to the ringer on this track. And being followed not far off by Ryan Winfeld and Igor Koz. I'm going to have to bet that most of these drivers with the German flag have been on this track in real life. So it definitely is a huge advantage to have done this in person before you have to do this in a sim, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think, knowing all the little bumps and dips and everything and seeing that in person definitely give you a lot more confidence to run it here.
Have you done Road America in person?
I have not. I've been there in person, but I haven't actually driven it.
But as a passenger? No?
No, I just a spectator.
Okay. But it's like the tracks that you can go to in person, it seems everyone is able to just have a little bit of an edge at all those tracks. And here we go. We're heading into that passing zone that Ryan was using last lap, and let's see if Igor Koz is going to push his luck and go for that pass in the same fashion, or is Ryan Winfeld going to have to defend? Is he going to concede the position? Up the hill we go, climbing in altitude. Igor Koz getting closer and closer. I think he's going to go for it, and here we go. Is he going to go there? And Igor Koz losing control and losing his car, going into the wall, just as Thorsten Seifert and Django Valls just behind and Django Valls is ahead, and that puts Thorsten Seifert and Django into the reverse grid top 8, and there you go. The solution was just hold on, stay steady, and don't crash. I don't know if Igor's going to...
tough, and he just caught a little bit of curb, and that's all it took.
Oh, absolutely. Very tough place to pass, and I think that's why they say don't pass there. But, if you can make it work, and there you can see his steering is bent to the right, I don't know if he's going to be able to finish the lap like this. He has a long way to go. It's a lot of corners, and yep, he has some front suspension damage as well. I wish him luck on this maiden voyage, but that's going to be a tough one, I gotta say.
Yeah, that's rough. But I'm sure Ryan breathed a sigh of relief once he saw Igor go off there, because he was catching him at a pretty good clip there.
Absolutely. And that is absolutely the solution for Django and Thorsten, who are going to be on the front row if they can hold it together for the remainder of this lap. Of course, that's still no easy feat, as these tires, if they've been misbehaving on them, will be dropping off and not do them any favors as they head through the final few corners.
See, Brian's getting pretty close to Bjorn Ritter now. He was lapping about 2 seconds a lap faster. He's caught up to him now. I don't know if he'll have enough time to make a move or not, though.
I also see a notification Gordon Ramsay has crashed, so he's not having a good luck this trip from Scotland. Come on, replay. I know you want... There you go. Wait, Gordon Ramsay. That is right here. Here's Gordon Ramsay has crashed. That trip from Scotland to Germany, maybe not the best for him, and is just not having any luck. Oh, and luckily he was able to save the car. I don't think there's too much damage, but away he goes. Ryan Winfeld has now brought himself within... Oh, in that corner, he had a chance to make a pass possibly on Bjorn Ritter and lost 3/4 tenths. And so I don't know if he's going to be close enough. It looks like a little bit of an edge through the carousel on this last corner. Is he going to be close enough? I think he's going to be able to gain about 6/10 of time, but I don't think that's going to equal a pass. So Ryan, I think, is going to be locked into P6 unless there's any kind of misfortune that happens for Bjorn Ritter. And, knowing Bjorn and him on the Nürburgring, I just don't think so. I think he'll be set. Here is...
He's a little too far back now. So.
heading up to P1. This is Jürgen Frank coming across that start finish line. Congratulations, Jürgen Frank, for winning our 15-minute sprint race. 6 seconds ahead of the Hammer car number 60 coming across right there in P2. And here is Aiden Young. He is 8 seconds behind the Hammer. Very great drive from 427. There's Florian Kappel coming across that line right about here, right about now. Bjorn Ritter almost being challenged by Ryan Winfeld. Ryan Winfeld just barely in his rearview mirror as they go across that start finish line. Here's Jango Vollen, Thorsten Seifert coming across right here. This here is Gregory Vranks and Misha Berger just barely behind. Igor Koz, it looks like he's still going at it. He is able to make it work with that bent steering. Let's see if he can hold it together through these final few corners. Having bent steering and just damaged suspension, this is not an easy sequence of corners, but it looks like Igor Koz has done this before. Does he crash a lot? I don't know, maybe. Was that what I was suggesting? Possibly, possibly not. I don't know. Very fast driver regardless, Igor Koz. Very fast, very competent driver, and he's showing it right there and just being able to get that car across the line. No easy feat. No, not an easy drive. Here's Alexander.
Yeah, I think he made the right decision though to hang on to it and just just limp it home.
Absolutely.
Make points.
Absolutely. So that was Alexander Wilford making up a position on Emil Koopmans. Here is Philip Straffarelli being followed by Christian Hegevald. And let's take a look. How did Philip Straffarelli make that pass? This is them going down that straight. They're going side by side, and Christian may have just conceded the position in the name of safety or that front end damage. I don't think it was doing him any favors, so it's just a matter of time then.
Yeah, it looks like Philippe had a pretty good run on him there.
Here is Alexander Redhead. So Alexander Redhead, I think he's, 2 minutes back? Oh, and his car, it looks like it's going a little bit sideways. He is P17. Gordon Ramsay is P18. We're going to have to wait for these drivers, of course, to finish, and they still do get to finish. We can see on the track map they're about to come onto that very long straight. And maybe this gives you a chance to pull up a track map so you can start reading out some of these corners. I know, Aaron, you do know some German, so I'm totally counting on you for this one.
I'll do my best.
Read some of these with that German accent. It's funny. I've actually been told by some German people that I'm actually saying Philip Hammer's name incorrectly. It's something along the lines of Philipp Hammer. Or I can't even do it. So I just have such a Canadian tongue that it's just ridiculous, eh?
That's all right. Everybody knows who we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. So it looks like his car is going a little bit sideways, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit of dog tracking going on there.
I want to just take a quick look at our weather. We've got 20 Celsius ambient, 25 Celsius track temp, and that is the conditions these drivers are dealing with. So the temperature's getting a little bit hotter as we go. That says 11:45 a.m. around noon in sim time. Here's Gordon Ramsay coming down that hill, going up the hill, heading towards that heavy braking zone from 270 kilometers an hour down to about 70, if you're maybe more, maybe I'm just slow, and taking that final corner, heading across that start finish line. Now that long break that everyone had, hopefully they haven't fallen asleep while waiting for some of these slower drivers to pass this start finish line. And there is the end of that feature race. So we're going to pull up. We are going to pull up the results and take a look exactly where did everyone finish. Congratulations once again for Jürgen Frank, P1, for winning that race. Philip Hammer in P2, Aiden Young, P3, Florian Kappel, P4, Bjorn Ritter, P5, Ryan Winfeld pushing his luck and definitely Definitely was worth it to get all the way up into P6 for Ryan Whiffle. Great drive, and just positioning the car very, very well in all the places that matters. Django Vol doing the exact same thing, getting by Thorsten Seifert in P7. So Thorsten Seifert will be the last car in that reverse grid top 8, and so he'll be starting on the front row. And Aaron Hall, take it away from here, from P9 down.
All right, so yeah, Misha Berger in P10, Igor Kos.
And Gregory Banks in P9.
Oh yeah, Gregory Banks, P9, Misha Berger in P10, Igor Kos, P11. He did a good job of limping his car home after that incident, trying to pass Ryan. Alexander Wilford, P12, Emil Koopmans, Philippe Straffarelli, Christian Hegewald, P15, Mark De Bruin, Alexander Redhead, and Gordon Ramsey, P17 and 18. They were the last of our finishers, also limping their car home. And then we got Stefan Heineken, Marvin Strel, Jory Steinmetz, Frank Smits, Corey Lazarus. And I think that's all the starters that we had. Those last few, I think P19 through 23, I think they were in the pits at the end of the race, but hopefully they'll join us again for the feature race.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Corey Lazarus who just had the very misfortunate event of Gordon Ramsay losing control, and there really is not a lot of space, and it's just that's sometimes racing. So and Corey Lazarus just getting the really bad end of the stick on that one.
Yeah, for sure, and that's just something here. With the walls being so close and a tight track, it doesn't take much.
Wow, so the temperature is now jumped up to 35 Celsius track temperature here with a 20 Celsius ambient temperature. I'm really, really curious to see how that's going to go in this feature race. Are the drivers going to really push their luck on this higher track temperature, and how really that's going to go for the length of these 4 laps?
Yeah, with the extra lap in there, the tire management will definitely come into play.
Absolutely. With a reverse grid top 8, this race can't get any better, I gotta say.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Thorsten and Django and Ryan, they all had really good pace. But you got, Philip and Aiden Young and Jurgen Frank right behind them who are going to want to be getting through. So it should be a good time.
Looks like Thorsten Seifert has passed gridding. He does not want to start on the front row, so he's going to start in the pits as the lights are up in the middle of your screen. And the lights are off, and away you go. Ryan Winfeld getting an excellent start, and he is going to be leading the charge down into turn 1 with Django Vol on the inside. Here we go. And Florian Kappel making an aggressive move. He wants that lead of the race, and he wants to get as far ahead as possible. And then there is a car that has spun, and everyone is now just avoiding, and that looks like that was Jurgen Frank. We're going to have to take a look at exactly how that happened later. But Florian Kappel, as we're seeing, is in the lead of the race, and he is starting to make a little bit of a gap. We're going to pull up the timing tower, and we'll see how this is going.
That was a bold move by Florian there, but he made it stick, and it looks like the top half of the field made it through pretty clean.
Absolutely. Philip Hammer's up 3 spots total already in the P4 as we're heading along the GP track. Misha Berger's up in the 6th. Bjorn Ritter's down 1 position. Igor Kos is up 4 spots total. Wow. A lot of great passing going on as we're heading through the GP track. Not even done, I would say not even 10% of a lap. Oh, and Misha Berger getting challenged for his spot from Igor Kos making that aggressive pass up the inside. And so Misha Berger is now down another spot. Igor Kos is up 1 more. And here we go on to the Nürburgring. I see Mark De Bruins has crashed. Let's take a quick look. How did that one happen? Here's Mark De Bruins. He has crashed. And I'm going to have to guess the rear end got lost. Oh, yep.
Yep.
Oh, and that is an unfortunate moment for Marvin Strel as well. And so that explains what happened to Marvin Strel as well. Oh, and Christian Hegewald. Okay, let's see. What happened to Christian? This looks like it may have happened on his own as they're heading through these first few sequences of corners. Oh, and there you go. Very unfortunate.
A little eager on the throttle there, and Ren wants to come around on you.
Absolutely. And right here we have Emil Koopmans is leading the charge of Frank Smith's Aiden Young. Oh, where's Aiden going?
Ooh.
Where is...
Oh, it looks like he took somebody out with him.
Uh-oh. Aiden Young is going to have to tow after that one. That was a very big incident. It looks like he may have made contact with Frank Smits. So this is Jürgen Frank, car 174. He's all the way back up in the 12th position after that funky spin. Here's Bjorn. This is absolute chaos, and this is, you know, this is good chaos in a way. And this is just the Nürburgring. This is how it goes. You push your luck, and you really got to take that chance. You have to, or else you could lose the race, and here we are. And there's Florian Kappel, who has now gone off track, and he's getting passed by Igor Koz. He is bleeding positions, as you see it right here in front of your very eyes. And so these higher track temperatures are really starting to eat at our drivers. There's Emil Koopmans, who is also off. We're going to have a lot of replays to go through if we have any time. A lot of action, a lot of passing.
All that means that Ryan Winfield's in the lead now.
Absolutely. He is in the lead. He's being followed by Philip the Hammer 1 second behind. Jango Val is all the way up into 3rd position. Well, I shouldn't say all the way up. He's down. He started on the front row, so he hasn't bled too many spots. And that is a really strong showing from Jango Val so far.
Yeah, he's looking really solid.
Absolutely. Very, very solid showing. And here's Jürgen Frank.
Aiden Young had a bit of contact going into Ehrenberg, which is one of the harder braking zones on the track. And yeah, just got a little wide onto the grass, and that's all she wrote.
Let's just take a quickie look at exactly how did that happen. Oh, and he just, I don't know if that was contact or not, but he went a little bit wide, and he was just along for the ride because there wasn't much he could do. Once you're on that grass, you're really going off, and you've lost the car.
Yeah, there's, all he could do is to slow it down, and yeah, it's a high-speed corner into a heavy braking zone, so it's a lot of potential chaos there.
There is Florian Kappel going off. I'm not sure how that one happened. Is he going to park that? I think he is. He has decided to tow and just and skip it.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Absolutely. Gordon Ramsay, who had absolute terrible luck in that sprint race, has totally turned his luck around. He's up 10 spots total. He's got Jürgen Frank behind him, and in front of him is Alexander Wilford. Gordon Ramsay's up in the P8. Look at him go. Solid.
Clean, consistent.
Absolutely, and this is the Nürburgring, and a lot of times that's all you need. You just let the other drivers make their mistakes, and you make some decent passes. Not always the case. Not always the case, of course. Sometimes you get unlucky, and everyone just drives an amazing drive. But you know, that's rare.
Yeah, I think this feature race, the last race of the season, people are getting pretty bold and start making more mistakes. So if you can just stay consistent, it's gonna pay off for you.
Here's Gordon Ramsay. He's got to think about how to get by, or he's going to have Jürgen Frank getting by him. So Jürgen Frank, let's see, how does the magic happen for Mr. Frank? Is he going to push his luck? And he's starting to get real close, try and gain some overlap to get ahead of the Scottish lad here. As we're heading towards the final carousel, this part of the track is all out. Then this is just a slight braking. You downshift into 4th gear and you just let it rev out. And, I'm calling the corners 5 seconds too late here because they're just going that fast along this section of track.
They're flying through here.
Absolutely flying. A lot of this is full out 5th gear, 6th gear. This is just a slight brake. You let that rear engine car swing yourself around, and we're heading towards that second carousel right about now.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to stay pretty tight through this last sector here, back onto the straight. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out as they get to the end of that straight.
So
This is going to be one of those situations where you have to balance, and time your overtake correctly, because if you do it too soon on this straight, then they're just going to take it right back.
Absolutely. I'm really curious to see how Jurgen Frank plays this out. He's going to get the extra slingshot, of course, as he heads down this straight. Alexander Wilford's going to have the left lane position. There's Jurgen Frank on the outside. This is now 3 wide as we head down this straight, and it's anybody's guess how this is going to go. Jurgen Frank. Oh!
Oh! And Ramsey makes it through. Holy
cow. Jurgen Frank starts moving over just a little bit, and it just caused a little bit of chaos, or a lot of chaos, for the likes of Alexander Wilford. And Gordon Ramsay just having a lot of luck in this feature race, I gotta say.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow, I did not expect that at all. I think the little shift over from Jurgen Frank, and just I think he was trying to cover off being passed again, and it just didn't work out that well, unfortunately for him. Here's Wilford. He's going to go into the pits and take that one fast repair that he gets. If there's anywhere you're going to crash, make it on that last straight, because then you can at least dive in, get that fast repair, and very little time lost. Here is Django Vol. It looks like he went wide under braking as he is on that GP track, and that's allowed Igor Koz to go on through. And now Misha Berger directly behind, starting the challenge for that position.
Yeah, Misha's looked like he has some good pace this race, and yeah, just trying to make up every position he can.
Let's just take a quickie look at what was everyone's last time. Here it is, off of that race start. It looks like Frank Smits didn't get time. How's that possible? I don't know. But that's just an example of everyone's last lap. Once they do one more, we'll get an idea of how their race pace is looking, and yeah. Django is definitely under fire. We have 3 laps to go around the Nürburgring. So that's only 1 lap completed. We're going to take a look at how Ryan Winfeld is doing. He's definitely a very seasoned veteran on the Nürburgring. So look to him to really challenge the hammer all the way to the very end and the very last corner. I'm sure that even if
Ryan's got really good racecraft, and he's definitely confident on this track. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he has enough pace to hold off Hammer.
Absolutely. I see a notification. I'm going to just take a quickie look at this one. Yuri Steinmetz has crashed. Oh, so looks like he may have crashed already before this one. His car is not...
car's looking pretty rough.
Oh! A little bit of a mistake and bumped into Philip Straffarelli, and now he's just out of the race, and he's just oh, here's the crash that took his hood. Let's see how this one happened. So his car looks nice and pretty right about here as he's heading around. Oh, that would do it.
Big hit.
Oh, that is a very big hit. I see Emil Koopmans has crashed. Here's another one. Little bit of grass, a little bit too much speed, and he ended up going into the barrier. And it looks like his steering is bent. Does he choose to tow? Yes, he does. He chose not to finish that lap, find the tow truck, jump on, and go for the ride back to the pits so he can use that fast repair. So we now have, I think, about 8 drivers in the pits. They'll all be waiting for that tow truck to bring them back, use that fast repair, get back out there, and see what kind of ground they can make up. I don't know about you, Aaron, but have you ever tried going through this track with some bent steering, broken car? How did that fare for you if you did attempt it?
That is one of the more nerve-wracking things you can do. Yeah, you're just never sure what the car is going to do, and yeah, with a track like this, it's just it's quite the experience.
Absolutely. All the elevation changes. If you have steering damage and your front suspension's a little bit broken, good luck is all I gotta say. I've tried it, and I think I made it about 5 corners before it's just like, nope, absolutely no. Absolutely no. Here's Mark Bruins. He is, I think, our first driver to leave the pits. It looks like directly behind him is Alexander Redhead. And, oh, yeah, and Thorsten Seifert down 13 positions. directly. Where is Thorsten Seifert here on this lap? Okay, so Thorsten Seifert is the next car in front of Mark de Bruins, but it looks like Thorsten is he being lapped right here? Who is this with him? Car number 10.
So it looks like Philip Hammer's making a pass on Ryan as they're going up the hill. Oh, and Ryan is sticking with him. It's not going to make it easy for him.
Oh, he is not making it easy. That is absolutely right. Ryan's forcing him to go around the outside, and who's going to be better under braking? It looks like Philip Hammer is making it stick. He is able to get ahead at the very last possible moment, and as we head towards the carousel, car number 60 is in the lead of the race with Igor Koz directly behind there. You can see just looming in the rear view of Ryan Winfeld. Wow, what a great pass from Philip Hammer.
Some really fantastic driving. It's two drivers that are very confident here and also just very respectful and very good drivers. So, yeah, great action there.
Absolutely amazing action. Very, very brave pass, I gotta say. So here is Django Val. He is in P4 still, holding off Burgermeister, who's in P5. Our current amateur division champion for the season, Misha Berger, of course, I'm speaking of there. Misha Berger did not have a lot of good luck with the Porsche Cup at the beginning of the season. I remember him just really not having a good time driving it. He didn't have a lot of pace, and he didn't qualify very well, so he wasn't able to get into the Pro Division. As the season went on, of course, we know that there is some updates and revisions of this car that took place, and it really benefited into the hands of Misha Berger, and he was able to pull his season together and just absolutely run away with the amateur division championship this season. So yeah. Sounds like
he's looked really solid this season. I know he's spent a lot of time, working on his racecraft and working on his pace and stuff. And certainly the car changes helped him out too. So, yeah, I think definitely a well-earned championship here for him.
And so that's going to place him into the Pro Division next season.
Yeah, but I think he'll do well there. I think he will give those guys a run for their money.
Absolutely. Misha Berger has that racecraft to compete with them. He now has the pace to compete with them. And yeah, I'm sure he'll do very, very well in the Pro Division next season. As we know, pace isn't everything. You could have the best pace in the world, but this reverse grid top 8 will challenge everyone's racecraft. And yeah, when you have a lot of cars in front of you, after that reverse grid, your pace doesn't mean that much, and if you make real bad decisions trying to get back to the front, you're just really not going to score a lot of points. And I think, Aaron, that's one advantage you've had in the Americas races, is just being smart about how you make your passes or not make them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just about being patient and waiting for the right moment to make a pass and make it stick, and just avoiding incidents too. If you are too bold and have a crash, you're going to lose a lot of points. So sometimes it's worth just to yield one position and not risk losing more. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we have some more crashes? We have Stefan Heineken, who has crashed. Let's see, how did that one take place? So it looks like he was already off of the track. Oh, you know what? Let's go a little bit back. How did he go off of the track? Let's see. Oh, it looks like he caught just a little bit of grass. Oh, here we go. So he, under braking, went a little bit wide. There we go. He hit the wall, the barrier. Luckily, you don't have to pay to replace that barrier. And trying to go up. And I think he just... There you go. And he decided to tow back to the pits. Survival on this track is definitely the most important. You don't have to have the most amazing pace, but as you can see, you're going to be right in the middle of the field just by plain out surviving. Gordon Ramsay up 11 positions. Wow. Where is Frank Smits? Sorry, what were you going to say there?
I was going to say Gordon Ramsay's a perfect example of that. He's just kind of been surviving and just driving through the chaos, and it's working out pretty well for him.
Yeah. Gordon Ramsay is all the way up into 7th, so that's 11 positions gained. What a drive from the Scottish lad here. And in this moment, we have a little bit of time. We can actually now announce officially on the broadcast teams for next season. And I'm actually quite excited. And we've already posted this in our Discord, but for anyone who's thinking about joining, we are going to have teams. Of course, we won't have prizes for the team championship winner, but it's going to be a lot of fun to have you and a buddy out there on the track with the same paint schemes. So, Aaron, who's your teammate?
I think I'm teaming up with Carl Ribbing for next season, who is challenging me in the amateur championship. So, yeah, looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it'll be fun to have somebody to work with and practice with and stuff, and see if you can kind of improve together and yeah, just improve our racecraft and our results.
Yeah. What was the name of your team?
I think we're going with Haste Management.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, it'll be fun to see what people come up with and who teams up and everything. It should be a good time.
Yeah, I think my team name, I'm going to be teaming up with Charlie Pouyer, and we are going to be KY Jellyfish.
Excellent.
Yeah, and there you saw Thorsten Seifer making the pass on Aiden Young. Aiden Young having that damaged car. He chose not to take that fast repair. I'm surprised, to be honest. I thought he would have gone for it. That doesn't lose too much time in the grand scheme of things, but you will lose a lot of time throughout the length of a lap here by not taking it. So that's a very interesting and curious decision from Aiden Young.
Yeah, it is interesting, and of course, with a damaged car, you risk having more incidents later on if the car's not super controllable. But he's probably feeling that he hasn't lost too much pace, and he can still get a good result.
Yeah, he's going to lose a lot of top end speed on the straights, but maybe a little bit of extra drag is just going to slow him down just the right amount for all the corners. Maybe that's what he's hoping for. But Thorsten Seifert, of course, making that pass and starting to walk away from Aiden Young. I'm going to take a look at some of the drivers through our field. Here is Igor Koz. We've seen a lot of him so far. Django Vol with Misha Berger in tow. They are still in the same position as they were last lap. Misha Berger just biding his time and trying to find the perfect place to pass. A little bit further back, Gregory Vranks. He is 5 seconds away from Misha Berger. So if those two do battle a lot, they have the risk of Gregory Vranks potentially making all the way up to them. And it looks like Gregory...
I think Misha's being smart here and just kind of biding his time and waiting for a good opportunity to pass without losing too much time to the guys behind.
It looks like Gregory Vranks has already gained a 10th or two, so with a lap and a half to go, there's actually potential that he could catch them if he's lucky enough and he drives the drive. Here is Gordon Ramsay, as we've already seen, up 11 positions. Frank Smits is all the way into P8, up 14 spots total. Another driver with a damaged car, just trying to stick it out. And yeah, while we have everyone's attention right about here, let's take a quick look at that race start. Here is Jürgen Frank, and what exactly did happen to Jürgen Frank, because he spun. There may have been contact, there may not have been contact. He looked like he was trying to get up ahead. Oh, it looks like him and Igor, just a little bit of contact, spun, and everyone's just trying to now filter around that stopped car.
That's tough. That turn one is such a choke point, and everyone's got to get slowed down really well. Looks like the rest of the field did a good job of avoiding any more chaos, though. So
yeah, and it looked like Jürgen, he was trying to test his luck, getting up a few positions under braking, just as making use of and taking advantage of the accordion effect, and it just didn't work out too well to push that extra car wide at turn one, and the choke point it choked him, unfortunately. I see on the race start, Stefan Heineken also crashed. I'm just going to take a look at that race start once again. I think he crashed. Here is Stefan Heineken, not having some good luck on that race start. After he comes around turn two, I think he gets a little bit too excited on the throttle. And it says he crashed. Maybe he didn't. Or was it right here? I don't know. Nope. Looks like he didn't crash. Okay, my overlays are lying to me. Absolutely lying to me. He did not crash. What is this?
So it's looking like Misha Berger is quite a bit closer to Django Vowell now. I think, again, he's just kind of biding his time until he can get to the back straight, and probably going to go for the move there.
Absolutely. We posted our race notes to say something along those lines of it's actually better to follow 5/10 half a second back from a car rather than try and push your luck, get up there right on his rear bumper and his rear view mirror for the entire lap. Just wait until the moment you know you can pass. Get closer right at that spot. And then go for it because you know you can. And that looks like exactly what Misha Berger has done. He's 4/10 back, so this is going to be a guaranteed side-by-side as they head down this straight on the lap 3. And here we go. Misha Berger, is he going to take the left lane position, the right lane position? Is Django going to defend? I don't think Django is going to defend. What are you thinking?
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. I think he knows that Misha's got quite a bit more pace than him, and probably the smarter thing to do is just let him go.
Here is Misha Berger up the right side, and Django has conceded to the position and is willing to follow along and just take that draft for the last lap, it's looking like, potentially, or try and hang in with him and pass him back on that straight on that last lap. Philip Hammer putting in the fastest lap of the race at 7:46.524. Wow. And
quite the lap for a race pace. Wow.
And as you can see, I brought up the weather right here. 27 Celsius track temperature. So at the race start, it was 35. The temperature on the track has gone down. Very lucky for these drivers to have that to go down. And so, yeah. Wilford making a pass on Christian Hegevald. Hegevald. Yeah, Hegevald.
Hegevald, yep. You got it.
There we go. So Alexander Wilford up 1 spot total from where he started and toughing it out, taking that fast repair, toughing it out, and just not giving up has been a benefit for Wilford. He almost made a mistake there and put himself into the wall. And that's given Christian another chance to make a pass here back on Wilford. And as we head down the start-finish straight right here, we got Christian Hegevald and Alexander Wilford 2 wide heading into turn 1. Here we go, under braking. Alexander Wilford with a not damaged car is making better benefit of those brakes as we head through turn 1-2 sequence.
Yeah, it looks like Hegevald kind of backed out of it there. Maybe wasn't too confident on that inside line.
I don't think I would be either, especially with a little bit of a damaged car. But you know what? Some people there are just a lot better than I am. I know. And Hegevald is just showing that his ability to hold that car together and keep it going and stay in 12th position instead of towing, and it's just showing right there.
Mm-hmm. He's doing really well. Looks like we got Igor Koss coming up on Ryan Winfelt now, putting a lot of pressure on him.
Now, would you consider this space one of the better passing zones, or the do not pass?
I mean, going into Ehrenberg, it can be a good place to do it. That's one of the harder braking zones, but you have to have a pretty good run through there. To me, it's probably too high risk and not enough reward, but yeah, we'll see. It looks like Igor's just hanging behind. He might try it going up the hill here through the next section.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's one of the spots that I wouldn't want to pass. Is Igor going to test his luck as he heads up the hill under braking? No, he's going to wait it out and try and find a better spot. I'd say that they're coming up on a straightaway, but I don't know. That's still quite a few corners away, isn't it? the long straightaway up the hill. Right. So I'm really curious to see if Igor's going to test his luck there and if Ryan's going to defend. Little further back, here's Django Vol. He is actually still on that rear bumper of Misha Berger. So does Misha Berger have the pace to break away? I would say no. These two are very evenly matched at first sight here. And so this is going to come down to that start-finish line and who can just be better under braking or maybe have a little bit more luck as they can try and make use of that draft and maybe even side draft.
Yeah, this might have been Django Val playing the long game here. He knew he could stick with Misha, and he's just going to, let the pass happen on the second to last lap, but then, take the position back on the final lap when it actually matters.
Yeah, I saw there Igor Koz, his rear end getting a little bit wild under acceleration. So he's definitely using and abusing those rear tires. So I'm really curious to see how this goes as he exits this corner, next braking zone onto that long straight up the hill, and let's see if he will or will not test his luck. He is going for the exit, as you can see right there. He is 4.5 tenths back. I don't think he's going to be able to get some overlap on Ryan as he heads up the hill.
Yeah, you need to get a really, really good exit out of there to have a good run, and yeah, I don't know if he's quite close enough to make a good move. It looks like he's gaining a bit. We'll see.
So this is Bergwerk, I think, was that corner that you exit up the hill. Kesselchen, Chlorstall, Mud Curve?
Yeah, Mud Curve and then Klosteral.
Oh, and he has gained the overlap, and he's challenging Ryan for that position. Ryan has thought better of it and conceded that position and just wants to finish the race on the podium, it looks like. Igor Koz has the pace, and he has had the racecraft in that situation there, and now Igor Koz is ahead.
Yeah, probably smart from Ryan to back out there to, live to fight another day. If he can stick with Igor and get him on the back straight here, that may have paid off for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I see on my notifications a few crashes. Here's Stefan. Oh, we already looked at this one. Here's Philip Straffarelli has crashed. Let's take a quick look at how did that one happen. A little bit of grass, and he's going to hit the wall at high speed, and oh, there's another wall. There you go. He is not going to be able to finish that lap. I see Alexander Wilfert, one of our ring runners, loves this track, has also crashed. Let's take a quickie look at how did Wilfert go off. Under braking, and he just goes straight into the wall. I think he wants to jump that wall and see what's on the other side. He saw a cow, or was it a chicken? Maybe a squirrel. And he just wanted to go pet it, feed it some food, and he didn't quite make it though. Didn't quite make it. Django Vol, wow, still 5 tenths away from the Burgermeister, so he is absolutely setting himself up for a run down that straight and going to challenge for that 4th position. I'm sure of it, absolutely sure of it. He is not letting the Burgermeister go. He is getting closer and closer as we start preparing ourselves for that long straight. So anybody's guess how this race here is going to go.
Yeah, he's really doing a good job hanging with him, and it's going to put Misha under a lot of pressure right here at the end of the race.
This is P12 I'm looking at, Mark De Bruin. He is saying 3 minutes, 41 seconds behind Christian Hegvald, and he just went through Flagplatz, Arenberg. Is that Arenberg? No, Flugplatz. Arenberg coming up is that heavy braking zone, and this is P12. Alexander Redhead, another driver not wanting to quit, and he is in 13, and he's not far back, I think. Oh, no, he is a lap down. I don't think he's going to be able to finish that lap. So here is Philip Hammer. He is heading down that start-finish line, and here's Igor Koz directly behind. He's trying to break the draft of Ryan Winfeld, and is he going to be able to stay ahead? And it looks like Igor Koz may, if he's lucky, be able to stay ahead. Frank Smits is in the pits. I'm not sure how that happened. And there is Igor Koz. He is still ahead. A little bit further back, this is Misha Berger with Django Vol. And if we look ahead, here is Igor Koz being challenged for his position, not quite able to get up there. Here is Misha Berger as he heads into the final braking zone with Django directly behind. Django is still behind. As we head onto that start-finish line, it's just going to be a drag race to that finish line. And is he going to be able to make it happen? It looks like Misha Berger is going to be able to stay ahead and clinch that P4. And what a race between these two drivers. And of course, congratulations to Philip the Hammer, who won our feature race, up 6 positions total, all the way up into P1 for that win of the 30-minute feature, 4 laps. Igor goes up 9 positions all the way into P2, showing some excellent signs of racecraft this feature race. Ryan Winfeld, the final podium winner of our race, in 3rd position. Congratulations, Ryan Winfeld. And Misha Berger, Django Val, of course, in 4th and 5th. Just having a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, that was some really great driving in the top 5 there. Those 2 battles for P2 and for P4, just really solid drives. And yeah, that was really exciting to watch.
Absolutely. They really left it down to the very last lap, the very last straight, the very last corner, and that's what you absolutely love to see on a track like this. It's definitely a challenge to stay close and stay with each other. There's so many reasons to not be around other cars, and these guys just said, to heck with that. I'm going to just be around you guys anyways. And so that was Christian Hegvald coming across in P10. I actually want to take a quick look. What was everyone's fastest lap? Best time. Here is everyone's best time. And you can see how fast was everyone, how many people completed a clean lap. You can see Alexander Redhead as we're following. Oh, this is Mark De Bruin we're following with. Alexander Redhead, who is behind Mark De Bruin, not able to have one clean lap. Maybe he 1x'd every other lap, and so not able to set a time. So it looks like the last car out on track is Mark De Bruin. He is going through the carousel right now. So Aaron, this means we're gonna have to talk for quite a bit longer. As we're going
our vamping skills.
Yeah, exactly. And I will say, if anyone wants to do an interview, come on in, do an interview, and yeah. If anyone wants to do an interview, come into the interview booth and we'll talk, and yeah. But while we're watching this track, Aaron, can you tell us a little bit about the Nürburgring and what you know about it and maybe what you don't know?
Well, there's a lot that I don't know.
There's the broadcaster curse happening to Mark De Bruin right there. He's hitting that wall pretty hard.
Yeah, he's just trying to make it through to the end here. Yeah, nursing some damage and yeah, just trying to see the finish line. I'm sure he doesn't want to tow here right at the end. So,
well, he is currently at Eschbach and Brunchen, coming around to Zuchenhauer Punkt. I'm having fun with the names here because I have a terrible German tongue. Now he's coming around Flansgarten.
Flansgarten and
Flansgarten. There you go. Perfect.
Flansgarten
2. Oh, there's a 1 and a 2. See, look, you do know something. You know a little more than me, of course. This track is definitely not one of my specialties. You know what's funny? I actually drove this track quite a few bits of time in Forza, but when you come over to iRacing, the track feels completely different. The depth of every corner just seems off. Both games say that they laser scan the tracks, and I don't know if I believe that. Having been on MoSport in a real car myself, I can tell you is perfectly identical to what iRacing has. So if anyone questions the quality or how well they copy the tracks, I would say perfectly copied. So I wouldn't say Forza is the game.
Yeah, I've heard similar things. There's some professional drivers that will practice with iRacing to get a feel for all the bumps and the dips and everything before they go to a race, especially if it's a race abroad. They haven't actually been able to get to the track before. They use iRacing to get prepared for it. So yeah, I think iRacing is just on another level when it comes to that realism aspect.
Absolutely. Here is Mark De Bruin coming across the last few corners as he heads on to our start-finish line straight, and will be the end of our race. So there we go. He's coming across that finish line, and we're going to be able to pull up exactly where did everyone finish, and here we go. Philip Hammer, congratulations once again for winning that feature race, gaining all those positions very quickly, and then just absolutely running away with it. 7.2 seconds after 30 minutes to Igor Koz. That is a great run. Igor Koz all the way up in the second place. Great drive. And Ryan Winfeld, the final podium winner there of our race, really trying to put it to Igor Koz, and almost did. Take us away from Misha Berger down.
Yeah, it's got Misha Berger in P4 and Django Val P5, who had a great battle for most of the race, and Misha was able to pull it out at the end there. Gregory Bronx, P6, Gordon Ramsay, P7. He had a fantastic race starting from P18 and just, staying clear of the carnage, and ended up with a really good result. Thorsten Seifert, P8. I think he was supposed to start on pole, but I think did a pit start to hopefully avoid some of the chaos. But yeah, just stayed consistent and ended up P8. Aiden Young, P9. I think he had a pretty big incident early on and was just nursing damage most of the time to try and just survive the rest of the race. Christian Hegewald, P10. Frank Smits, Alexander Wilford, P12. And then Mark De Bruin, I think, was the last of our finishers in P13. I think everyone else was a few laps down or pitted. So Alexander Redhead, Philippe Staffarelli, Stefan Heineken, Jürgen Frank, Florian Kappel, Jory Steinmetz, Jorn Ritter, Emil Koopmans, Marvin Strell, and then I think that was it for those that started this race.
Yeah. And so there was quite a few incidents. Just a friendly reminder that half your penalty points will carry over into the next season. So if anyone says, oh, no need to send any submissions for penalty review, it's still worth it somewhat because there is half penalty points carryover, and you do have to have 6 races completed in a season. Is what we are going with, if I remember correctly, for your penalty points to be reduced by half. Otherwise, point for point will be carried over to the next season. Wasn't that the number, Aaron?
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
So if there is any penalties that everyone or anyone in this race would like reviewed, please still submit them, and we'll sort through that, and hopefully it'll help you feel a little bit better if you feel you're wronged or maybe not, or I don't know, just give us something to do, right?
Gotta keep the stewards busy.
Exactly. And that now concludes the end of our Euroglobal Division race at the Nürburgring. Congratulations to all of our drivers. What a crazy drive that was, I gotta say. And there we go. Hopefully we'll see you guys in the next season, in season 4. This is season 3, I believe it was. And see you in season 4. I can't wait. And that's it. I'll see you guys all later. Have a good evening, have a good night, have a good morning, wherever you're from. And thank you for joining, Aaron.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Test.
Control, will you help me? I lost control. Will you help me?
gonna say? What you gonna do when I lost control? We had lost, yeah, we lost control. Yeah, we lost control.
Love about a liquor boy, will you hit me up? I lost control. Will you help me? Love about a liquor boy, will you hit me up? I lost control.